Hello and welcome to Naija's Geeking Out podcast. This is episode 195, and with me are two of what is going to be the most obnoxious hosts we've had in a while. Like they both have reason to gloat unnecessarily, so bear with me as this is going to get very, very annoying. I will start with unfortunately the American. Red, how are you doing?
Call me American. Don't call me Red today, please.
Oh God.
See, I am so happy that we triumphed in the face of people that decided to be flying foreign flags just to watch America fall in the Olympics. So how did you like the Olympic results?
Well, I read that one.
No, I don't like results where there's a lot of doping involved, where financial doping happens and stuff like that. So I don't.
That's your excuse.
I call these all results null and void. I think the true winner of the Olympics this year is China and Ray Gun.
Well, at least you're better than your mate who called EU a country. So
I got so confused by that logic. That was some desperate logic.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, the size of EU, the size of America, I mean, I can see.
Yeah, you're riding with that. Better go and wave your China flag.
Please, I'm begging.
Well, I'm good.
Yeah. We're happy for some of the athletes that competed in the Olympics. I mean, some superheroic efforts there. For me personally, I'm happy for the Pakistan.
The javelin guy.
Yeah, the story is very inspirational. No training like that, nothing. And he came to the Olympics to win gold.
What, you mean the Turkish guy?
No, the Pakistani.
That did javelin.
Okay. Oh, javelin. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, my hero is the Turkish fellow who got silver, and the break dance, the break dance with the PhD in cultural subject of break dancing. Somebody described her that she looks like a soccer mom who just
Can you imagine what you've been teaching them for all these years?
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm not sure why that's in sports. I still don't get it, but yeah.
To be honest, I don't agree with it. But having said that, I also don't agree with synchronized swimming. Anything that's, to me, subjective shouldn't be in the Olympics.
Fair
Which is why. So to me, there's been this blurry line that started from gymnastics into diving into synchronized swimming, because you started to get into things that there's no clear first or second. It's a matter of opinion.
No, but there's some technique involved in that, like
it's subjective. It's not.
No, I get what you mean, but like when you talk about gymnastics, you can't see Simone Biles is not putting in some. There's a level of skill that she has.
No, you could agree. But a lot of time, the winners, then that skill level, you can't even see the difference. In her case, she's way and above beyond the rest. But but she's an exception. Normally, you'd be thinking, oh, okay, people dance around with twirly swing in the air, and I'm supposed to judge that twirling is better than this twirling.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, this is not Olympics.
Different on Olympics aside. Yes.
Please, guys, blame the American for trying to bring Olympics into this so they can gloat. But let's forget that.
Yes, that on the other hand also has reasons to gloat. So I'll just give him the floor, please. Go ahead.
Well, sorry, my reason to gloat is on point. It tracks with the podcast. It's all about this podcast. It's Deadpool. So Deadpool has joined the 1 billion club, as predicted by one person only on this podcast. Myself. I know my onions when it comes to this, and I know I was confident and I was bullish and I was on point.
What was your prediction again?
I said it would break 1 billion.
Or just a break? Okay.
No, I said 1 billion. That was my prediction.
You said 1 billion. You didn't say
yeah. So so are you not trying to say because I said 1 billion?
No. I didn't say anything.
You better not say anything because
continue.
Good. I mean, I'm happy for the film. I enjoyed it. I'm still eager to watch it again, but I'm not going to go to cinema. I'm waiting for it to come on Disney to watch certain things.
Exactly. I was going to ask that question. when you talk about watching this movie again, is this a movie you can sit through from beginning to end, or is it a movie that you just remember like, oh, I need to watch this scene, I need to watch that scene?
I will probably start watching it from the beginning, fast forward some parts, pause, watch some parts, fast forward, and like that.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So that's where it falls on your rewatchability factor. But
yeah.
are there any superhero films, and this goes to both of you, that you think you can watch from beginning to end at one sitting, and you'll never get tired of that?
Does Watchmen count?
Of course it
Yes,
counts.
of course it counts. Yeah,
I can watch that. I can watch that end to end.
Sorry, the answer is yes, but here's my problem. The ones I can watch, I have watched them so many times. It's unreal already.
yeah.
So if you take, let's take the Avengers, Endgame, and Infinity War.
Okay.
I'll probably watch them from beginning to end, minimum 15 times each. So to watch them again now, I probably won't sit down and watch. If somebody else sat down and was watching it, I will sit down in person and watch it through.
Yeah.
But to sit down by myself or put it on, no. I'll probably skip to bits. It's something I've watched so many times that I can't see myself doing it again. But it's not because I'm just overdosed on it.
No, I think that counts as well. You've already watched it a lot of times,
Yeah.
and I'm sure in a year's time you can still go. You're still probably going to go and watch it again from end to end. But because there are some movies that we watch, we like, and then we realize, oh, when you're watching it, you just skip to one particular scene. You just want to watch this particular epic moment, and there are a lot of slow moments in between. And there are other movies that, you know what, I can watch this movie every single scene, every single moment, and I will enjoy it. So yes,
I think I would actually watch Infinity Wars more than Endgame.
Oh yeah, same.
I'll probably skip some in Endgame than Infinity War.
So
probably.
Okay, that's an interesting choice. I mean, everybody will probably watch the climatic battle of Endgame over and over again.
Yeah.
It's a very rewatchable segment, but yeah. Okay, so that's
just last thing about this Deadpool. So at the moment now, hopefully, I mean from my side, it should also be able to overtake Joker as the #1 R-rated box office movie ever.
Yeah.
I think it needs about 50 million more to make.
Yeah, it's definitely going to clear that.
Did you say 50 million or 50,000?
No, I think it's 50 million.
50 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm correct in that. I think it's 50 million.
Yeah, it's about 50 million. So yeah, it's definitely going to clear the Joker in terms. No, it's not. It shouldn't be up to 50 million, but yeah, it's definitely going to clear the Joker in that regard.
Which says something to me is this is R-rated.
Yeah.
If it wasn't R-rated, what would we be talking here?
I think we'll be talking this slightly more because this is not a
because it was 15.
Slightly more, same amount because the bloodshed and everything is part of the draw of Deadpool. If you remove that and you add the kids to it, you are getting similar levels of.
Actually, very true. Yeah, very true.
Yeah, so there's that as well. But yeah, then Joker as well. You know, Joker 2 is coming out this year as well, so we'll see how that movie will perform in the box office. Whether it will reclaim the crown of biggest R-rated movie in cinemas.
Okay, I have a feeling, even if it doesn't, I think it will come close. I think it will give its original a run for its money, in my view. And now I don't know like the original. I've only seen the trailer for this, but I'm way more excited for this than I was for the original.
Yeah.
And I think Lady Gaga, I don't know. I've got a feeling she's got a draw of audience anyway. That might it being a musical. I'm not quite sure how that would affect whether that's a draw or negative. I am not sure.
I mean, it's Lady Gaga singing. The Star Is Born was a success, even though it wasn't a box office
hit.
So I'm not sure how much that would detract from Joker 2. And it's a jukebox musical, so it's not like they're singing new songs. It's 6 songs that we know about, so it should be easy. I'm hoping it's easier to follow along. And yeah, but the initial draw should be great, and I hope it holds steady in the box office. So
okay,
there is that as well. So yeah.
Okay. Right. What do we have next today?
So this week we have two main topics we're talking about. First, we are getting to our review of Akogun 3, the Brutalizer of Gods.
Yep.
This concludes this particular. Oh, let me just call it an arc
Yep.
of
All
what this epic is supposed to be. So yes, we'll be giving a review of that. If you're a fan of the podcast, you know we've reviewed issue 1, we've reviewed issue 2, and now we'll be deep diving into issue 3, and then going back to see how the story all connects and what are our views on the entire series as a whole.
Yep.
And also we'll be talking about Umbrella Academy season 4. I think the fourth and final season just dropped.
That's correct. Yes.
And yes, this is the end of Umbrella Academy as we know it. It's a farewell. 6 episodes on Netflix dropped over the week. Dakwa, have you seen this?
Yeah, I've seen it all entirely.
All 6, right?
Yeah, all 6. Yeah.
Oh, they're just 6.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought it was going to be 8 or 9. I'll power through it tonight. But you guys can go ahead and spoil.
Okay, so yes, as you've heard, we'll be spoiling it, but yes, all through from beginning to end. So if you've not watched it and you want to avoid spoilers, you can skip this part and jump to the Akogun section that will be in the watermarks as well for the episode. So to kick things off, did you see the recap of the first 3 seasons? Did you watch the recap video?
No, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
What did you think of that? Of everything that has happened so far?
So, if I'm being honest, I don't know. I can't remember what my scores were for the seasons when we reviewed them in the past. But in my mind, season 1, I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed season 1 a lot.
Yeah.
From memory, I think I also enjoyed season 2.
Okay, just for the audience, season 1, the original season,
yeah,
they were trying to stop Vanya from destroying the world.
Correct.
Season 2, they get thrown into the past. They spent their time in the 60s. They were trying to stop Vanya from destroying the world. Season 3, they come forward in time. They meet the Spiral Academy. And I don't think it was Vanya this time, but yeah.
So yeah, and that's 3. And then we have this 4th one, which will come to in a minute. Yes. So for me, I think 1 was the high point for me.
Yeah.
2, I still enjoyed. I think it was still the same characters, similar situations. They had a couple of quirky characters. I'm remembering some characters. I can't remember what their names were. 2, but for me, 3, I did not like at all.
The Spiral Academy.
The Spiral Academy. It seemed to be just. I could honestly say when I was even watching it, and even though what was going on made no sense to me, and it was just like the plot was paper thin, and it was just putting them in scenarios so that just act these scenarios out. I did not feel any proper real stakes. I did not feel any logical progression in what was going on, and the argument, the family arguments were just there. I did not really enjoy. I still like the characters individually, and so it's almost like it was coasting with me based on the fact that I like these characters. Yeah. But the plot of 3, no.
Yeah, 3 was very weird in that.
Yeah.
How they were reacting to the situation, how whatever things will happen. Like Umbrella Academy for me has always had that problem. You have a set of great characters acting in illogical ways, sometimes explained by their character flaws, but other times you just wonder, okay, the only way they are in this situation is to move the plot forward. Yep. The only way they are doing this is for that to happen. And I think 3 was the biggest issue with that, because we kept circling back to similar themes and tropes that we've explored already in 1 and 2. And then we are facing the Spiral Academy. They were dying off. They were trying to. I'm like, at some point in 3, very early on, I did not care about what happened to anybody.
The same.
Yeah. Same. So by the end of it, they got rewinded back in time, and they ended up as they ended up the season. They went back to their original timeline, or close enough to the original timeline, but without powers.
Correct.
Yes. And that is where season 4 kicks up from.
Yes.
These are the guys, after a couple of years have passed, they've been living without powers. And as usual, they are complete fuck-ups in their personal lives, because these guys have no skill or sense outside what they are doing. So you have the field actress who is trying to do what's it called? Commercials on TV.
Yep.
Yeah. You have Vanya, who owns a bar very, very far from the family.
Yep.
You have the drunkard. What's his
Yep.
name again?
Is that Clint or his name? I can't remember.
No. Well, in this season, he's the former drunkard.
Yes.
Oh, God, what's his name? The one who likes taking drugs and sees ghosts.
Yeah.
Cow. It's not Cow. It's something.
Klaus.
Klaus. Yes.
Klaus.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have Klaus, who is a recovering addict.
Yep.
And yeah, he has a whole arc in this particular show. We have the leader, the big strong guy,
Yep.
who is now a dancer,
Yeah.
a street dancer, basically.
A very bad one.
Yeah, terrible one at that. And the relationship between is it the guy with the accuracy? God, I keep forgetting their names. And
Oh
Lila.
yeah. I call him the Spanish guy. And Lila. Yeah. I can't remember his name. And then you have number 5.
And then you have 5, who is working for
Yeah.
the CIA here.
Yes.
And yes, so we have them in trying to live some form of normal life. And then you have number 6, Ben,
Yes.
who is from the Sparrows timeline, not the original timeline, and who wants to get in the course of this season they get the jazz that gives them the marigold that gives them powers, and then it slips them into their drinks, and they all drink it, and they get their powers back, and yes, that kicks off the plot of the entire season, where the end of the world is happening again, obviously, because of something the father did, obviously. They confront the ghosts with their father, obviously. Five and Lila have a very weird.
So I have a question. I have
Yes.
a question.
Yes,
The
please.
dad, Hargreaves, was he alive or?
Oh yes, he's alive.
The version in this universe. There's a version in this universe that's alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we get the monocle or no?
Yes.
We have the monocle. We also have their mom alive for the first time in the season.
Yes.
Okay.
So you remember last season when Agnes was restoring the world, the reason was able to convince what's her name, the singer, to his side was the promise of I will give you your daughter back that you lost from your 60th timeline. I'll bring her for you. And then he gets his wife. So that's why she betrayed them, helped Agrips, and Agrips is back with his wife. They are back and they want nothing to do with Agrips. At least that's the start of the season. Then, yeah. So,
I mean, okay. No, I just want to say the overarching part is six episodes.
Yeah.
And the long-term plot is they get their powers back, but by getting the powers back, they realize that one of them and somebody else who we're going to mention in a minute is again going to cause the end of the world. And then so obviously they have to scramble around to see if they can prevent once again the end of the world.
Yeah.
I've been very harsh on season 3. Watching this season, I think I'm going to be more harsh on this season than season 3.
Yes.
It's a shame. In my view,
it's worse.
It's worse. In my view, Red. If I tell you what, in my view, what's happened, they had no plot. They just said, okay, let's finish. Let's do one more season. Finish off this whole Academy, and they just came up with the most flimsy of plots in my mind. We're introduced to a new character who I don't even know, is she an alternate version of Ben from another universe with the opposite? So basically, you know the thing that gives them power, there's an opposite version of it. This girl appears, she appears in a squid. To me, this is the level of this writing. I mean, Umbrella Academy always had a bit of quirkiness to it, a bit of weirdness to it. So you could say it's part of it. But we're introduced to this new girl. Everybody's looking for her. She's special. But if she and Ben get together, it's the end of the world. And that's basically what happens in this.
Yeah. So my understanding of what happens is that Agrips and his wife were originally from a different timeline.
Yep.
Where they discover the marigold and whatever this girl has. That is the opposite of the marigold.
Yes.
the wife, by discovering that, also ends up destroying their world.
Yeah.
So Hargreaves used the marigold to reset the timeline and then gives it to kids to get their powers. So this kid is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
And she also appears in this universe as well. I don't know how. It's never really explained how.
Yeah.
But yes, that happens. Then Hargreaves sends the kids on a mission. I'm not sure why he sends them in particular for that mission without even warning them about,
Yeah.
oh, this
Yeah.
girl
Yeah.
is there. Yeah, it's like whatever happens, when we get into if we get into the details of the plot, it's like
Yeah. I mean,
whatever happens, and yeah, you don't really care. So it gets them, it kills. Now, this is their big plot twist they've been saving from season one. Is that Agnes was the one that killed Ben.
Yeah.
And then they wiped their memories to tell them that whenever they say who killed Ben, and this has been a running thing from season one, which if the payoff here was good, it would be something we'd enjoy. It's that throughout the entire show, whenever you ask them what happened to Ben, they always say the same thing.
Yeah.
That Ben is the best member of
Unfortunate.
the Umbrella Academy. There was an unfortunate incident and we were at fault. I'm not sure why you chose that except for a bit of mean-spiritedness. But yes, there is that as well happening in this season. So they are trying to pay off that particular plot point is set up from season one for this, but it's just for me personally. I don't know about that, but it's just not landing. There are so many things they are doing in this season that I can see the efforts they are going into, the ideas they have behind it, but it's personally just not landing for me.
There's no ideas. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's for me. It's a collection of interpersonal stories. So you have Red. What we're following, especially you have the married couple, which the Spanish guy and Lila. They're married. They've got kids. She's craving excitement. So without the husband knowing, she's joined the CIA undercover. She's doing some undercover work.
Mhm.
The husband doesn't know. Obviously, the husband, the usual trope. She cheated. She's cheating on me. That's what he thinks. He himself is doing a job. He's like an Amazon delivery driver or something like that. Again, he hates his job. The girl who used to convince people. She's trying to be. She's like a washed up actress doing.
Therefore, let's do it this way. Let's take the
Yeah.
characters one by one.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because if we try to focus on the plot, it gets very nonsensical.
Yeah, very.
So if
No,
we talk
very.
if we talk about the characters, maybe at least we can form some structure behind.
So
yes.
okay. So can we leave number 5 to last?
Yes, let's leave 5 and the couple to last.
Okay,
Let's start with what's his game? Luther, the big guy.
Luther.
Absolutely nothing for me. He's a stripper, a bad stripper, in a dud job. He's silly throughout. Even when he gets his power, he's pointless. For me personally, he's pointless throughout. He has nothing to the show. He's not a leader. In a way,
it does nothing.
Yeah.
There's no arc for him in this particular season.
at all.
That's how I'm starting because he's basically the most useless character in this particular show. If you delete him from this season, you are missing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes no difference at all. So like, this is where you clearly see that they really have no idea what they are doing. And I guess it's difficult juggling all these characters, but yeah, Luthor is the worst. That's number 1. Number 2, Diego. You're calling him Hector, but Diego.
Diego is the knife guy.
Yeah, Diego.
Diego is the knife guy. Yes. Okay, let's save him for later.
Last. Yes.
Okay,
we save him later because his wife has more of an arc.
Okay.
Than him.
Yeah, but not that he. Not that he himself.
Klaus.
So let's go.
Arc. Yeah, go on.
Klaus has an arc.
Let's do the
number 3.
The lady.
Alison.
Rumor. Yes.
Yeah, Rumor. Yes, Rumor. Alison.
Yes.
So to me, she's almost the next useless person in my mind. The only thing she has here, she's got a daughter. So towards the end, her daughter plays some role in the emotional stakes. So it gives her some emotional stakes at the end, as to when they make a decision about the end of the world.
Yeah.
But to me, she's nothing more than the caretaker for Klaus.
I mean, I like her daughter a lot because there's one very powerful scene with Klaus that the daughter has. That was when I get to class, I'll talk about that a bit. That was when she confronts Klaus at his lowest point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and emotionally, that was a very devastating scene to watch. I think that was like one of the strongest emotional reactions I had to the show. But her as a character, she's coming off of betraying the family,
Yeah.
and then she's trying to fit in back in the family. There's a big argument of, oh, yes, I betrayed you guys. You have a problem. I mean, it's like that whole thing because last season she ends up being the one that went against everybody, but here it's like yeah, and that is right. She doesn't really have an arc. They are trying to play a relationship with Klaus, and there was something there where they have to start about setting boundaries with people you love and
Yeah.
pushing toxic people away. Like, why is she always going above and why does she feel the need to go above and beyond? But these people, if not, it's feeling so on insecurities and things like that. It does have a bit of a story to it, but I still basically not that more. It's more of a daughter, like I mentioned. That's what you think of.
No. Sorry. I think my connection at the end, I was losing you. So, well,
Oh,
you
okay.
you carry on.
Okay, yes. So yes, that's basically our arc. But the daughter, like I said, more interesting to this, even though she does nothing in the show, she's just there because she serves as the emotional stakes for the show.
Yeah.
And time to start number 4. Klaus's arc is painful to watch for me. I don't know about you, Dapo. Like,
It's painful. Okay, so can I break this arc into two?
yeah,
When it was powerless, he's
yes,
turned into a very sober but overly cautious person. So like it's almost like he's reacting because before his powers was about regarding death and ghosts and all that kind of stuff. So now he's sober. He doesn't drink anymore, but he's so cautious. So like the house they're living in, he's safe proofed it to a ridiculous level. He doesn't want to take any risk at all, because they might die. Because so so he's playing this really, in my view, a tired, lame, overly cautious person. I mean, and he plays that until he gets his powers back, in a way.
yeah,
But even when he gets his powers back, in my view, you see, I'm conflicted about him. The character, the actor, is always good in what he does, in a way. And I think sometimes I give him a lot more props, and then by association, the credit I'm giving to him falls into the role he's playing or the character itself. Whereas I don't think the writing is that strong, because remember, Klaus, and I don't know about Tunde. I knew Klaus's the actors. I knew his first role back in the day when he did Misfits, and so
oh,
he's always
yes,
been,
yeah,
yeah, he's been a bit of a pet favorite of mine. But
yeah.
in this episode, really, is it really an arc? If I'm being honest, I
It's an arc, even if it's a reverse arc for Klaus. So Klaus has at least come to some level of stability in his life. Even though his OCDness is to the point of he doesn't leave the house, he doesn't have a job. He's just
yep,
relying on his sister taking care of him and him being the caretaker of his sister. So him
yeah,
being uncle to the daughter. But as soon as he gets his powers, he slides back into his debauchery. And it's story and as it's falling for that one drink. And then it shows you how dangerous an addict is to the not dangerous possible, like how emotionally damaging an addict can be to their loved ones. In that the first thing it does when it's back goes to see, tries shots from the house. Then the daughter of Allison confronts him. And that was the scene I was talking about. That it's very emotional.
yep.
Where you see him, and he acts it beautifully well. You see him struggling with it, and he ends up pushing away that you know what I'm going to hit rock bottom, and it's so painful to watch to see how people destroy their relationships in such situations. And for me, that was a very visceral watch for me. So that's why this arc, as much as I hate it, because it's just basically him sliding back into bad habits that we've seen him go through over again. So it's not
Yep.
something interesting to watch, but it's realistic in a way because we've always heard of real life stories of addicts when they fall back, how they struggle, and in all of these ways. So yeah, him falling back is realistic, but as a story, it's not something. It's not something appealing to
And I'm
watch.
sorry,
Yeah.
he also doesn't seem to have a lot of agency, in my view. He gets his powers back. He's kidnapped. He's forced into scenarios he can't really control. Even though some of the scenarios are funny,
Eh,
when he had that ghost thing, I just didn't like it.
no, his
And even when he escaped,
agency
no, what was his agency? Even when he escaped, he didn't really
is the
escape.
one that he chose it. He went there himself. Like he chose to go and meet that drug dealer. He went to meet the drug dealer. You know what? I have my powers back. Kill me. Then he agrees to the drug dealer that you know what? Yes, I can talk to ghosts. You feed me drugs, I will do this for you. And even at some point, you can see his agency when the drug dealer says, "Okay, I can give you cash, or I can give you the drug you want. The
Yeah,
cash
but
is going
sorry,
towards
sorry,
paying
sorry,
your
sorry,
debt."
sorry.
Yeah,
He had no agency because he went there for one thing, but he didn't get what he wanted, and that guy imprisoned him and
he
forced
got
him to
what he
do
wanted.
what did he
He
want?
got the. He wanted drugs. He wanted to die, and he wanted drugs.
But he couldn't.
So it's
He
like,
didn't die, and he was held prisoner. I guess that's not how he wanted it to go. Or else he wouldn't try to escape.
I mean, he was enjoying it up until the point where he could not take it anymore, and that was where like the ghost sex thing got too much, and then he started planning his escape. So it's like it's a typical addict scenario where yes, it's very difficult to say addict see like that, but there's also that element of choice. But when their drives that their desires are overpowering them, then it's very difficult. So I get that whole aspect of it. I just don't like it because this is season one Klaus. This is
Okay.
season, yeah,
Yeah.
we are going back, and I'm like, yes, we've seen this
Yeah. It
before, and
was.
we've seen him overcome it in a very interesting, like dealing with it in a very interesting way.
Yeah.
So yes,
I find the whole thing very strange. I mean, and Red at one point he's buried alive.
yeah,
Like Kill Bill, he's buried
Yeah.
alive, and they tried to do a Kill Bill scenario, but even that they didn't follow it through. They did something else. The whole thing was I just found it all strange. Even the dog appearing. There's a weird thing there, Red, in the cinema cemetery. I won't even go into it. It just in my view it peters. You know when something peters out, you think oh something's gonna happen here, but it just peters
And
out to nothing.
nothing happens. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
yes,
that was
yeah.
it for me.
So
But
number,
he's always enjoyable
yeah,
to watch, Klaus. So carry on
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, it's enjoyable
Yeah,
to watch. Like,
yeah.
yeah. Then number seven, Elliot Page.
Right,
I do not care for this character.
right. I'm gonna get us cancelled here.
Go ahead.
He looks terrible.
Have you seen that meme?
What meme?
Like
No.
one meme about like 30 years as a woman, then 2 years as a man, and then like it's like
Okay, okay, okay.
just being a man is hard. Like just
I'm sorry. I was so
yeah,
distracted
yeah,
by
but
his look. 'Cause I kept thinking, oh God, is this a natural result of this whole process?
it's not
If it is,
some other
surely this
people. Yeah,
is not right. This doesn't. It just doesn't look right. He looks. What's the word I want to use? He looks. Obviously, originally when he was a female, it was a small female anyway. So as a bloke, he's now a very small bloke. But his face looks gaunt, haggard. It looks way older than I would expect him to be or her to be. I'm sorry, I don't know
Yeah.
what is he right? You meant to say he. You know,
Yes, yes.
are they he or they?
I
He.
don't. I don't know. He's presented as a man.
Okay.
And he owns a bar. Yeah. And another thing about this is when they get the powers back, Red, the powers don't seem to be exactly like it was before.
Yes, the powers have changed a bit
Yeah.
to
And
suit the plot, but yeah.
exactly. And you almost can't. They almost seem generic in my view. All of a sudden, whereas Vanya, when Vanya was Vanya, she had this weird power that was very dangerous and could end the world.
Yeah.
Her, it seemed just standard TK bolts. I don't know what it was.
Just standard fire blast. It's not fire,
Yeah,
just force blast.
yeah,
What's going on
both.
today? Yeah. Force blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her character was totally interesting. So she's estranged from the rest of the family. She's
Again.
again, yes, she's off in the bus somewhere. It was repetitive. It was boring. I found it disturbing watching her on screen. I won't lie. You know.
Yeah. But like the confrontation with the dad, I wanted to touch on that because he was like, "Oh, my own aunt is I'm going to confront her dad." And then we get to that scene where she tries to challenge the dad for neglecting her all these years.
Yeah.
And this man is like, you know what? I wasn't the person that did all these things to you.
Yeah.
I'm an alternate person. But there's that bit as well, that exchange back and forth between Vanya, the dad, the siblings, and the father.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a satisfying scene where the children put the dad in their place, in his place, for all the emotional to them. Because it was the last incident. Yeah, they
And oh God.
yeah.
Sorry. When it comes to Hargreaves himself, I find that character a hard pill to swallow. I can't believe it's too much for me. He takes me out of the show as a character.
Graves as a
Yeah, Hargreaves.
character.
Yeah, it's just like
Why?
what he's an alien, and here's the thing: he's an alien, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an alien. Yeah.
Yeah. So which kind of explains why he's like that. You know.
I
Yeah,
don't
so go on.
know. I think this season, with his flaws being exposed properly by his wife, like his lack of any emotional IQ at all,
Yeah.
it makes it easier for me to swallow his behaviors. Like for me, it kind of explains how much of a shitty person he is because it's just so super. I won't say rational or logical because he's clearly an idiot, but
Yeah.
it tends to think without any emotions involved. It's like, get over it. We kill this person. We do this thing and move
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
there's that aspect as well. But this season made it a lot easier for me to swallow the character than previously.
Yeah. Maybe because I was just fed up with the whole thing
Yeah.
as it went on. I got more and more fed up with the whole thing. I won't lie. As I was watching I thought, what is all of this?
Yeah.
The people who interested me, and we're going to come to those. So we were talking about.
Wait, the mom as well. If you're talking about Agnes, let's talk about the mom a bit quickly. Because I think I found the mom a bit more interesting, at least having that dynamic.
Yeah, but
Because
okay. So here's my issue.
yeah,
We just met her in this series, and all of a sudden,
yes,
it's like, oh, all of a sudden, where are you from? Now you're this character, and this happens. Sorry, not talking about the mom reminds me of some other characters that they put into this show. Umbrella Academy has always had these oddball characters that appear, not part of the main cast. We have three in this season. We've got two, like a husband and wife team with these big long coats, and
Nick
we've got
Hoffman.
yes, and we also have what's the guy's name? And I know that character. I've seen him in very many other shows. Who plays
Cy Grossman, David Cross.
David Cross as well.
Yeah.
And in the end, these characters are nothing.
I
They're
mean,
quirky. They have
yeah,
all these. They say things that in season one would have got me really excited about their quirkiness. For her, I just thought, oh, here we go again.
you're just tired. You just want
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
end.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. It's
Because
like,
like what Jack, when you think about the plot,
yeah,
the verse of the show, I don't mind it. It's like, okay, you know what? These people have been messing up timelines, but for some reason, artifacts from other timelines are landing in this world, and some people are remembering memories of their past timelines, and they want a return to that. That is basically the plot of the show. That's what you have Nick Offerman and his wife and
yeah,
their
yeah,
entire
yeah,
cult is all about.
yeah.
And like, I get it.
I
It's
know,
a
I know.
plot of, yeah, it's a,
I get the plot, but
yeah,
also, okay. Let's be honest. I get what they tell me the plot is,
yeah.
but then you have to add in, by the way, this girl who's also come from another world. If
It's going
she
to
meets
end the
Ben,
world.
they're going to end the world.
Yeah.
That
And
looks like, oh,
it's,
here we go again.
I'm like, here's the thing. they try to explain it. Also, why I want to talk about the mother is like David Cross is the mother in this show. They try to explain it that it's the mother that gives them the drinks, the marigold to drink to get the power. Is the mother that's been trying to push Ben and what's her name, Jennifer
together,
together to meet. So it's like was my biggest problem in the earlier season, in the earlier part of the show was like, why are they doing this? When David Cross initially approaches them, go and rescue my daughter for me. I'm like, why do they care about this? Why are they going on this farm? Like there was no reason why they would say yes. Now, okay, to explain the situation, this guy kidnaps your sibling, and when you go and confront him, it tells you, hey, this is for you guys to help me go and rescue my daughter. You don't verify this information. You ask someone in the CIA, you don't verify that, hey, he actually has a daughter or anything like that. You just agree and you're all packing yourself. And I'm like, what's going on here? Is there a disconnect between the show I'm watching and what I'm seeing? So yes, there is all that. But yeah.
Right. Let's talk about number 5.
Yes, number 5. This is our favorite character as usual. And
season out, always been the fave.
He's always been the best character in this show. Easily.
And one thing, there's a lot of talk about him playing Damian Wayne.
Yeah, they've been flying that for a while.
And I was thinking, I was thinking that's my thing. But watching him in this season, I think he could still play it because I thought he was they would be too old, but I saw him, he still has that very boyish look. He could still play a kid, and I was surprised he could.
But even if you were to do that, how many? You can only do probably with just one.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it won't last long. Yeah. I mean, but to be honest, almost any kid you do nowadays won't last long because kids.
Yeah, but like this, Batman won't come out for the next 3-4 years.
The next 3-4 years,
at least. So he's at this age he is right now. He's already aging out of Damian. He can still play it, but he's already aging out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So his plot in this, his powers have changed. I don't know. I won't say even changed, but when he now teleports, he goes to I can only call it a nexus of timelines. He basically he ends up in this subway. Anytime he jumps, and that subway basically is a train that takes you to everywhere you want to go in the multiverse.
Oh, how did they find that?
Oh no, it just happens. There was no explanation. It just happens. So now when he jumps, he'll go to this train, and then he'll go on a train, and then he realizes, I'm now in another universe. And being a multiverse, there's almost infinity combinations in my view of where you can go on this train. And there's one whole episode where, and this takes us to Lila. He and Lila basically get lost in this multiverse. They can't find their way back.
Yeah.
And they're lost for like 7. Is it 7 years or is it
7 years? Yeah.
I was going to ask I was actually going to ask if he got lost and how he was navigating his way back.
Yeah, they got lost for 7 years. And guess what happens in that 7 years?
Obviously.
Red, take a guess. What do you think happens in that 7 years while they're lost together?
I can't say yes now.
No, they
get together.
They get together.
Yeah, okay.
Despite she being married to his brother.
I mean, it's 7 years. It's 7 years.
I was trying to go for something not so obvious.
It's the most obvious thing that happens. This is the most obvious plot. Now, for me personally, this season, maybe even last season as well, the chemistry between Five and Lila has always been the strongest.
Yes.
It's there are these two competent people in the midst of these assholes, these morons basically. And this season, the show, I think this is probably a fan favorite pairing.
Yes, yeah. Fan fiction.
So they go full fan fiction on this. Now, up until the 7 years, their chemistry together was off the chart. I liked them together. They had this very good sibling relationship.
Yep.
Like acknowledging, oh yes, we are working on this case together. I can watch a show for all of them. And then they go on, but the problem is she already has 2 kids with the dumb doofus, Diego. So they go on this 7 years journey. Since they're not Superman and Wonder Woman,
they already have 2 kids.
Yeah,
Yeah, with
5 years
Diego.
have passed. Yeah, she
Okay.
has 2 kids with Diego. Diego is a struggling father and all of that. And there was one scene before they even went on this 7 years journey where she tells Diego that she wants to take a break.
Yes, yes.
Just to make sure that everybody's morally fine with what is about
Oh,
to
so
happen.
they're already telegraphing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And to make matters worse, Red, when they come back after they started dating in the lost multiverse, obviously when they come back to them
no
when they
time
find their way back,
passes.
it's like a day later, or if that,
Yeah,
or maybe an hour
yeah.
later. So to Diego, his wife just walked out and came back, but now all of a sudden she's been getting
Not
off with my
With
brother.
her brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So to him,
yeah.
it's instant, but to them it's 7 years.
and he found out, of course, right?
Well,
They told him.
very quickly told him, yeah, it became very obvious, and yeah, it
Yeah.
was meant to be a funny scene. To be honest, I find everything very predictable. I don't think anything very surprising.
It's
And
the
yeah,
annoying
go on.
part about that thing is that I liked it. I liked Ella and Fi's relationship together.
Yeah,
I like the emotional trauma Lila was going through when she's trying to, these are my kids. This is my husband. Even Diego's reaction to it is kind of understandable. One thing I had an issue with was where Five was trying to tell her that what's this thing called? Stay with me here. When
yeah,
they found
yeah,
the way back, I'm like,
yeah.
guys, this is where you could have avoided this mistake. So they found a timeline where it's just two of them, it's peaceful, and decide to stay there for a while. Five finds a way back and doesn't tell her, apparently doesn't tell her for 5 months. And then when he tells her, it's like, choose me, stay with me, blah, blah, blah. We love ourselves, we survive. And she makes a very good line. I think that's my favorite line in the show, where she goes, this is not love, this is survival. And basically they go back in their own timeline and they meet up and then this after they had the initial scuffle, this is all swept away to focus on the end of the world kind of plot line. And that's where the show goes to. So now this is what we find out in the Infinite Subways with number 5. It's that all these end of the world scenarios has been happening and will continue to happen forever because of the 7 because they exist. So the only solution for that is for them to choose to not exist anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. And once they choose to not exist anymore, the whole timeline should be resolved.
Right.
Yeah. But that also comes with the fact that, okay, if we are choosing not to exist anymore, our kids, what will happen to them? So
They never existed.
exactly. So that is what is supposed to happen. And that's like supposed to be the big final
Yeah,
sacrifice.
revolution. Yeah.
Yes, they are supposed to make. So we get to this scene where they are discussing the options. Like, you know what? We can't keep ending the world over and over again. It's going to continue ending. There's nothing we can do about it. 7 has made a bunch, 5 has made a bunch of alternate versions that have been doing that for God knows how long. And now he's presenting the choice to his family. Do we choose not to exist anymore?
And it will
And
just be them on this timeline, because even if they stop to exist, other timelines will still keep.
no, so if
And
they stop to exist, every timeline will get reunited back to the way. So apparently, how the timelines broke is from the
Yes,
moment they started existing.
yes.
So when they started existing, it was when the timeline started splitting into different versions, where they keep destroying one, going to another one, destroying another one, going to another one. So to fix that original damage,
they
existing.
just have the original have stopped existing, and all the timelines will stop existing.
Yes.
Yes, all the alternate versions will stop existing. And yeah, so this was like I felt for the people that had kids in this scene, in this sequence. That's Allison and Lila, because it's one thing to ask yourself to make that sacrifice that you know what, I don't want to exist anymore for to save the world. It's another thing to say, you know what, my kids should not exist.
So I found this
Yeah.
whole premise nonsensical.
Why?
Right. So the issue is it's either the world ends or and if the world ends, you are gonna die and your kids are gonna die. Or you fix it that the multiverse never fractured, which also means those kids will not exist. anyway. But what's her name? Layla comes up with a great idea of stealing all the children. No, well, not stealing them, taking them to safety into another timeline. A timeline that's going to be erased the moment you reset the original. And they say that was
No, it's not going to be erased.
it will be.
What if they so if
Mm.
they what Five was saying, that if they put these children into another timeline, right? And they reset and they sacrifice themselves to stop this timeline, it doesn't stop the end of the world. The end of the world will keep on happening in other timelines. They just sacrifice themselves for nothing, basically.
Yes, but
Yeah.
what they went for was resetting the timeline so that there was no more timelines.
Yes.
There's only one timeline, so those people are erased.
I think what they're trying to do, but they didn't communicate it well, was that she wants to send them to the original timeline, put them on a train to go to the original timeline, which again is nonsensical.
Because if you go back to the past and change the past, so these people never had marigold, or is it marigold?
Marigold, yeah.
These kids will not be born.
Yes.
Because the whole reason why this whole set where you became a Umbrella Academy was that marigold. If that doesn't happen, your whole life is different.
Yeah.
And
So I
there's
just thought, you're gone.
their dad, does he know this?
Yes, that's why he took the marigold from them in the first place. That's why he sucked out their powers from the first place in the beginning, at the end of last season.
So
When he
in the
explained it to
beginning,
them.
so in the beginning, when they did have powers, the world would not be ending. If they didn't
No,
have,
the word ending is always from one of those people with powers.
No, so the word ending is from marigold and
Yeah.
what's it called?
I can't remember the opposite.
No, the
Academy.
opposite.
If
So
you had them without marigold, what happens?
if you had the world will actually still end. Apparently.
What if?
Because even if they didn't have powers in this timeline, the
And
world
they
will
still
still
existed.
end.
If they existed
Yeah.
without powers,
The world will still end apparently. Because when Five goes to meet the other timeline version of himself, they're like, yeah, no matter what you do in all the infinite timelines, we've
Yeah.
crossed the end of the world over 140 something thousand times already. So there's always going to be a new disaster.
It's like, so Red, put it this way. It's like as a result of the original fracture of timelines, it seems they're almost forced to end the universe themselves, even when they try to prevent it. Because if you look at the universe in this time, there's a clear no powers. So with no powers, that you won't have any danger because you don't have marigold in your body. That means you will not meet this other girl with the opposite, so there will no be any doubt. But yet, Ben found marigold and by trickery, tricked them into using it. So things conspired to give them back powers again, and the things conspired for him to meet the opposite version. So it's almost like, you know, when sometimes you try to, in some storylines they'll say if you change the time fights back. It was almost like you could do your best efforts to avoid what will cause the world, but it will still happen. And that's what was happening here. Because really, the first half of the season, everything was fine until they started getting their powers back, and then Ben started meeting this Jennifer, and this Jennifer, for me, she might as well
she's
be
not a character.
yeah, she might as well be a doohickey. You know when you say a doohickey or a gadget or a plot device.
She's not a character.
Don't get me wrong, I think she's very pretty, and I liked her look, but yeah, it was just unreal how useless a character. You know, she was just there for pure plot device. You know, almost zero merit. You know, but I liked her and I liked the character. But you're thinking you're only here so that there's somebody who's going to cost the end of the world.
Yeah. But back to the choice they had to make, Dapo.
Mm-hmm.
You are saying that in that moment, you are going to make that choice to sacrifice everything?
If it saves the timeline.
No, sorry. The choices they had was if they were going to let the cleanse. Is it the cleanse?
Yeah.
The cleanse happen. In that one, I agree. Put those people on the train, get them out of the way. But you're just delaying matters because it's told us very clearly every universe is gonna die. Everything happens, so it's almost like a delaying. You're just running from one universe to another. So you're just being 2 steps ahead of disaster consistently.
I mean,
Then the other option was, let's fix what we damaged. Well, don't let me say we. Let's fix the original damage to the timeline, bring it all back to one, but it would mean we don't exist at all.
and our kids don't exist at all. Our
Yes.
families don't exist at all.
Yes.
That's not, see, for me, I think it's one of the most difficult choices I've seen posed to an heroic character in TV, in movies, ever.
It's funny. This is a scenario I've always thought about.
Yeah?
You know, I've got kids,
Yes.
and I've always said, so let's say somebody comes to me and says, "Oh, Daps, I'm gonna give you the power. You're gonna somehow magically go back to your past, but you have all your memories, and it's one timeline, or whatever, you know. So back in my past, would you accept it? The only one thing that will prevent me from accepting that is I know almost with 100% person, if I do that, my kids will not exist anymore, and I will not be able to bring them back to exactly how they were before.
Yeah. So would you accept it?
I don't know. I don't know. Because I'm wiping my kids from existence.
Yep.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm not killing them.
Your
Yeah,
kids,
wiping
your
them,
kids
yeah,
need to
erasing
listen-
them from
your
existence.
kids
Yeah.
need to listen to this podcast.
They're wiping
No,
my existence.
yeah, I think About Time does this actually poses, if you watch the movie About Time, it
Okay.
poses this question very well, where the guy has the power to go back in time, and then it jumps back to before he had kids. He realizes that, you know what, I fucked things up. My kids, like, it gets back to the point where his wife is giving birth, and instead of his son, he gives birth to his daughter, and he's horrified that, oh wow, even though it was a few months time difference, I'm already, yeah. So he fixes that, and he realizes, you know, I cannot jump beyond the point of where I have my kids anymore.
Yeah. So okay.
Yes.
So that would be the option. That
Yeah.
okay. You can only go. I'll probably just go back to after my second born was born.
Yeah.
So that I can't change.
Yes.
But I can change everything else. But if I didn't have any kids at all, I would not even hesitate.
That is where this thing gets very, very, and we can sit here spinning a lot of this about timelines and the choices you have to make. But this is where Umbrella Academy they do really well about in terms of forcing this kind of choices to their characters, even if they end up making shit choices usually. So this particular sequence, because in season 2 we had the sequence of Allison having to leave her kid in the past.
Okay, I don't remember that anymore. Oh yeah,
the daughter she had to leave the past to go to the future, and then realizing everything has changed, blah blah blah, and yes, that was the whole thing. But in this particular sequence, I really don't know what choice to make. I'm not even sure the choice they made to sacrifice themselves and destroy the timeline is the right choice in this show. I don't know.
Sorry, if you remove emotion, you remove everything from it, this is the best choice. Because now you have a timeline that arguably will continue and will not end, as opposed to a multiverse of timelines that are ending anyhow all the time.
But yeah, you are also killing a multiverse of people who would have gotten to live their lives even if they end, even if the world ends.
And you keep the memory. That's the worst part.
No, they are going to be gone, but like.
Yeah, but then you go back to, you know what I'm saying, and there's more human beings are born and bred, that new ones. If I'm using cold logic, no empathy, no emotion, that's a choice I will make.
That's the choice you would make.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that's the choice I would make. One, because I think I'm too emotional for that. Two, in terms of logic, the way I see it now, you have, let's reduce it to a sensible scale. You have 10 timelines.
Yes.
Right? You are choosing to erase 9 times the number of people in the hopes that they don't die at a future date. So you're choosing to kill them now in the idea that they won't die in future, but just to have one version that is right.
Wait. Yeah, but you've been told that those other 9 will die, and they will die badly anyway.
Yeah, it's like this. I can either give timeline A 100 more years.
Yes.
Or give everybody 10 years.
Yes.
timeline A to D10
No,
years.
no. Timeline A is not 100 years old. Timeline A is infinity because it's a universe. That
Yeah. No.
will end.
No, so I'm trying to reduce it back to.
Oh,
Right now, we're talking about infinity. I'm trying
yeah,
to reduce it back to
but when you say 10 years,
maths.
100 years,
No,
we add the
it
math.
makes it small. Yeah.
It's balancing. This doesn't balance. It shouldn't balance. It should be like timeline 1 gets 1,000 years. The other
Yes.
9 get 10 years.
It's still okay. Timeline 1 gets 1,000 years.
Yes.
The other timelines, they get 10 years extra.
Yes.
It's still the trolley problem because you are choosing to kill 9 times the number of people to save 1/10 of your people.
No, yeah, but to keep one that goes on forever as it's meant to be. Hence, you're bringing more billions. Because remember, you're talking about 10. You're talking about people who live currently in those 10 years.
Yeah.
That one that goes for thousands, they will breed and breed and breed. They will outnumber those 10 long term.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That kind of choice, yes, it's an impossible choice either way. But the show eats their cake and have it in this particular season, so I get why they had to do that. It's going to be very difficult to go with the dark option.
Well, right. So,
They-
how did they have the? Explain that part to me. Sorry.
They put the kids in the train, and
Yes.
we see the kids I think we see the kids at the end and the family at the end, didn't we?
No.
The very last scene in the grass.
So
Wasn't that the kids we see at the end of Umbrella Academy? Like when they show the future after they restored all the timeline, and we see in the park, we see old characters eating, and then I thought we saw the kids as well.
I didn't think so, but I do remember watching a montage, and I was thinking, why are they showing? And I remember thinking, why are they showing us this? I didn't recognize them though. Maybe I didn't look properly.
I'm not sure I saw them, but I saw a couple of old characters there. But I am not sure if I think I saw the kids there as well.
Which then, to me, is even more nonsense.
Yeah.
So you're saying that they gave birth to them again? Is that what they're trying to tell us?
Yes. No. See, I think what they're trying to tell us is that the train that they put the kids on to go to, takes them to the final timeline, the one timeline that remains. So once the timeline is restored, they come out from underground, from outside of time, into the.
So they will be universal survivors, but with no link to anybody in that universe.
Yes.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. So that is what I think that ending was, because otherwise this is a very, very dark ending for the show.
In the end, the whole ending, I was not impressed, and I just thought, you know what, this is a bad.
You didn't like it?
No, it sounds like a practical ending, though.
No, sorry. When I said I don't like the ending, I said they're trying to F me up in a nice little bow, and to give a farewell. I just thought it was a bad farewell. I didn't think it was a good farewell overall the whole season for Umbrella Academy. Having said that, season 3 kind of led us down this path already, and I just knew that. I think that they did not know what they wanted to do, in my view.
I know. Okay.
Because at no point did I find it really interesting anymore. At the point, and all these random characters, and I was not satisfied. And they tried. I know they tried to do a bit of turd jerking, and I just looked at it. I was meh. I was totally meh about that ending. And I think we spent about an hour on this already.
Yeah. No. See, here's the thing about it. I like this season.
Yep.
I liked ideas out of it. I liked Fiverr and Lila. I like these choices they are trying to make at the end. If the story was a lot more compelling, and the characters a lot more, I don't know, the story a lot more compelling, and the way they went about it a lot more interesting. Like I felt more emotionally attached to these characters. I would totally call this ending one of my favorite endings for any timeline related shenanigans, because we rarely see them having to make this kind of choices in timeline related nonsense. So yeah, but with the way the show was at that point, up until that point, I did not care what was happening. Wow, you have this interesting philosophical decision to make, and I'm interested in how you're going to make it. But beyond that, I did not. Yeah, you're right. So,
right.
D'accord. How do you rate the season?
I'm just, to be honest, I didn't like it this season. I won't lie. I'm
Okay.
I'm trying to see how much did I not like it. I'm going to give it like a 1.8 out of 5.
1.8.
Yeah,
That's very low.
That's
yeah,
really low.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. Yeah.
So you
I
give it
agree.
you give it a pass mark.
I'll give it a pass mark. I feel
Okay.
like the things I liked are enough to over because I think this is better than season 3 by far.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
So,
sure about
yeah.
yeah,
So this,
by far.
yeah.
I'm not sure it ranks against season 2. I might put it slightly above or just about the level of season 2. But I
Really?
like
Oh wow.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
But
Okay.
I like the ending. I like the
Yeah.
question they had to solve, the problem they
Okay.
had to solve.
Okay. So you're giving it 2.5. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
The series as a whole, what would you
yeah.
score it?
2.4, 2.3, 2.4. It's a show I watched, but it's not a show I care about.
Okay. So I think that's fair enough because I was going to say I really enjoyed the premise of the show when it started the first season.
Yeah,
I But overall I don't think it lived up to its original premise at all.
yeah,
So hence I can't give it a pass like as a series as a whole. I don't want to give it too much of so I think a 2.3, 2.4 is fair enough for the
yeah.
series as a whole.
Okay, so I've confirmed from the what's this thing called before we go?
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
confirmed from the writers that the family survived.
Yeah. See, to me, that's a cop out. From the same
Yes,
from the scenario they painted, it's a cop
yes.
out.
It's a
Yeah.
cop out because
I
it's
don't,
like for me, it's the kind of cop out I prefer. I know it's a cop out, but it's like Interstellar,
no.
where we know the ending is a cop out, but
Yeah,
still,
but I don't like it because you are the one who painted yourself into a corner. You could you could have made a scenario that gave a better option where some clever thinking gave it to them. You didn't have to, but you told us this, and then you showed us something else.
yeah.
You could have made, but to me it's just lazy writing. You could have come up, we could do this. Oh, or
Also,
Lila has this brilliant idea. Oh, they could have told us. Let's try and find the original timeline, and we will try and appear there as a displaced. They could have even hinted at that, not just randomly. Oh, we're just going to jump on the train.
no, but yeah, the train is supposed to. That's why I thought the train taking up to the original timeline. That was my initial assumption.
Yeah,
Until you,
but which seems to be correct based on what you've said.
yeah,
But when she took them to that train, this is a train you guys had no control over where it took you. You didn't know where it was taking you.
no, here's my logic for that scene.
Yeah.
The train is taking them somewhere, and they are destroying everything else. So whenever the train stops, it's the one that remains.
And to be honest,
Yeah,
that what you just described.
yeah,
Like, if I was a director, you know what I would have done?
yeah.
I think on that train, as it was going, they should show the fiction of the
This
universe,
stops being,
and it stops disappearing, and they go, oh god,
yeah,
there's only one left. Let's get off here. And then it happens
yeah,
to be that would have made more sense. I
yeah.
don't
But
know.
it would have taken away from the impact of what the sacrifice was doing because they're just spending more time on the survival. But yeah, I get what you mean. But yeah, it's that's how they
Yeah.
chose to end Umbrella Academy.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll get Kickstart on this later next week
Yeah.
because it's
I,
not
I,
yet this year's week.
in a way, I'm relieved it's over.
As I
That's
said,
Yeah,
I've seen it.
I think
I, I,
it's
I think it started. I'm not sure when it's
Okay.
finished.
yeah, it's not finished yet. But yeah, I'm happy. I like this show. I would like a Five and Lila spin-off show. Get that to me.
No, I'm done with this universe. I'm done with this whole thing. I've no. I'm not with credit. I've no interest in seeing any of them at all again.
No, you see, Dako, I would like Lila and Five exploring the multiverse without the baggage of their moronic siblings.
The
So they
problem
can
is
actually focus on the sensible plots.
problem is any show that does this, I can guarantee you they'll bring it all back in. The
Yeah,
Hargreaves, the brothers, they can't help themselves.
yeah, that's true. Okay, so we are done with Umbrella Academy.
Yep. And
Yeah,
Umbrella Company is done with us
it's
as
done
well.
with us. It's done with us. And
Yeah.
this is, yeah. So moving on to Akogun, the brutalizer of gods, issue 3.
Yes.
Quick thoughts.
Yes.
Did you like it?
I did. But,
Okay.
but I have a big but.
Okay. Red?
I read it. I actually read the whole thing from the beginning again, just to get my stream of thought. I kind of fell off. It kind of ended too abruptly for me. I was hoping to see a bit more from, was it Ananya, the
okay.
female warrior? Then even when he met Ogun, was it Ogun, and the explanation for why he was weak?
Yes.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So before we jump into everything as a whole, this issue is in episode 3. Issue 3.
Episode 3.
Yeah. What stood out to you the most?
Can I say, I think this episode, you infected with your disease. I think this issue, of all 3, is the most straightforward one. In my view. Yeah.
Yes.
And my biggest but is exactly what Ray just said. The ending, I think, was abrupt. I know they went for that impact of, and we'll come back to it, of what happened in the last page. In a way, I thought we was, and I was not looking at the page numbers when I was reading it. So I thought we were just about halfway through.
No, I was looking because I just read it and I wanted to read it before this.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I wasn't. So I thought, oh, what's happened here? You know. Oh, right. Okay. And it says end of the. But I thought no. This is obviously just the end of an opening arc or something. Yeah. So yes, issue 3 I think left me a bit. I liked some stuff in it, and just like Red said, every time I've read Akogun, I've always gone back to read
the preceding one,
the first 2, and I've always said something about every time you read it, you see more stuff. But I've read 1 and 2, maybe 3 or 4 times each already. When I read it again today, I just found more stuff which I didn't notice before, and I think it
was a bit more straightforward this time reading it. I don't know, maybe because for me.
Yeah, but sorry.
As a quick aside,
yeah,
I'm going to say this in Yoruba.
Yeah.
Ashewo ni Dotun ati Morewa.
100%. I thought we were going to start from there, but yes, I agree with you. If you don't understand Yoruba, I'm sorry, but yes,
no. And those things. So basically, guys, for listeners who don't understand Yoruba, we're talking about the fact that there's a lot of sexual scenes. Is that a way to put it?
Vivid.
And they're very implicit.
Yeah.
Explicit.
Okay, explicit. Yeah. And I found it almost like quite well done in to give the desired effects. You know.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, and they choose some very interesting angles.
Yes.
So continue.
So one thing, because you put me on the spot and said I should mention one thing I mentioned. There's one thing I noticed that I did not notice, and I've read this like 3 times before. Is when one of the character tries to use the sword against Ogun.
Yeah.
And Ogun literally takes the metal of that sword.
Yeah.
I did not notice that first time. So he's swinging the sword, and literally the metal bit basically leaves the hilt, and the guy's only got the hilt, and Ogun is now commanding that metal bit to use to attack it. And the first 2 times I read this book, I assumed it was how Ogun can call metal from elsewhere.
Yeah.
I thought it was calling it from that is big steel. But when I watched it, I could see clearly, oh no, it was a sword. So the sword now, the guy's not holding the sword with no hilt, with no blade, just a hilt.
Blade, yeah, doesn't hilt, yeah.
So it's little things like that. I keep on.
I still didn't catch that one. I have to go look for it. Where was it? That was in 1.
I think that was in the 3rd one. I'll check.
It was in the 3rd one. That's when he fought Ogun.
Yeah. It was Akogun versus Ogun. Yeah, and that's and even some of the other fights. in the drawing, there's a lot of stuff in the actual art
Yeah.
that if you look, okay, and I enjoy that. Now my issue is if this was a one-off graphic novel given to me, I'll read it in one go, and I would not have gone back, and I'd have missed all of this. But because every time the issue came out, I thought, oh, let me go back and read. You know, so I start seeing more. I start taking my time, and obviously, you also get used to this to the art style, and you start. Okay, this is because you don't remember the first time I read it. I was getting confused between Akogun and Akogun's dad and some scenes.
Yeah.
I remember the very first time I was reading that. But after a while, I've kind of now realized how to know which is which. So then a lot of the stuff, because even sometimes they're showing the dad, but it's Akogun speaking, and it can confuse you, and or vice versa. They show Akogun, but you're hearing the narrative of the dad, and then they're showing age 10. So sometimes if you're not careful, you know, oh, who's going looking for the wife now? Was this one the dad was? You know, I know that kind of because there's a lot of
So
parallels between. Yeah, go on.
upon rereading,
Yes.
that dad is that Akogun's dad, or is just like a Perseus who is Obatala's son, right? Is Obatala's
Right.
son.
So Abatala and that little creature
Yeah.
met the wife or whatever, did this eye thing with him. Now,
Obatala masterminded it. He was
yeah,
already taken.
yeah.
So
No. Abatala made that little creature,
yeah,
and that little creature met
the wife,
Akogu's future mom.
mom. Mm-hmm.
Now, what exactly that creature did he implant some DNA in the womb? I don't know.
He said it would mastermind and meet a pregnant woman, right? A pregnant mom.
Yeah.
Oh, so was she pregnant at that time?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So, but basically, that creature did something, altered something, you know, to create Obatala's final weapon. Because basically, Akogun is Obatala's
Spawn, yeah.
weapon of revenge against Ogun. Really. And so Ogun is now eating hearts of top warriors to try and increase his power back to his original level bit by bit. Correct?
Yes. So Ogun lost a fight in issue 2.
Yeah, against Shango.
Yeah, Shango beat the hell out of Ogun and kicked him
Yes.
down to earth.
Yes.
And then
But
Ogun
he
tried
lost.
to regain his powers. Yeah.
Yeah, but he lost his powers even before that fight. He
was
realized.
poisoned.
Yeah, it was poisoned. Yes, it was poisoned by Batala.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. So that happened, and then
Yeah. So issue 3 for me was very straightforward. It's basically Akogun killing his way through all these. He missed this rhino. I said rhino. It's almost like a rhino slash. What's those things with horns? Unicorn. It's like a rhino with a kind of a special horn.
Right? It's actually a rhino. That's what I saw with a golden, because the
With the
horn is
golden-
on the,
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
top,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically uses that to massacre his way through this army to get to Ogun. And I like some of the art where they're showing, the laser stairs is coming up, and they're showing how they're trying to get behind him and get in front of him, and so there's some kind of corridor battle strategy going on.
Yeah.
On that page.
So yeah, that's great and all, but now
Go on.
there are some things I don't like about this book.
Okay.
It's the entire thing. It feels like a prologue, beginning to end. Once I read the final page, I didn't get satisfaction. Yeah,
Okay.
he kills Ogun. He fulfills the Obatala's goal of revenge. He tries on that end, but like I don't know.
Have a Batala on the moon and
Just like we're just introducing the story. Why the hell would you spend half of your, and that's my biggest issue, half of your third book conclusion introducing a new character that does nothing in the final fight? Anaya.
Oh no, she was not introduced in the last book. She was introduced in book 1.
Like we spend half of the book.
So the
No,
one
she
that-
was in book one, but we spend half of the book on her, like building her backstory, why she's special and all of that. And you think she's building up the climatic scene, but she's just backhanded away. There was no payoff for that. And I'm like wondering, why do we need all these pages dedicated to this, where we could have gotten more into why there's a conflict in the first place beyond the teasers they are giving us, or even if what is Ogun's relationship? We get all these things in. You can work this out, but that was like for a book that is so careful in details. Like they expect you to work things out, hints here and there. The fact that they spent so much on this, and I can't see. And maybe I need to reread it multiple times. I can't see any reason why.
Why what?
Why they are spending this much time on Anaya.
Oh no, sorry. I cannot disagree with you. I think the third book, and not just Anaya, the whole battle very straightforward compared to the first two. It's almost like the first two you build a lot of mystery.
Yeah.
And then in this one, there's no real mystery. You just it's like this is almost the most standard type comic scenario one out of all the three, and then you end up with I'm now fighting Ogun and the fight has ended, and I thought, hang a minute, what's happened? In my mind, I was thinking, what's happening with Obatala? What's happening with Oromila?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, okay, so this is one of, and to be honest, I don't even believe this should be the end of Ogun anyway. I mean, it looks like it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it seemed right. Okay. To me, that you're building up a big. There's a big mythos being created here about what's going on. This is a battle of the gods. But you're taking out Ogun. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that just a prelude? Are we now going to see Shango get involved? Are we going to see Obada's plans for Oromila?
Where's
can I ask a question?
Where's Shango in all of this?
It doesn't appear.
It didn't come back again after the fight he had with.
After the fight. So in that fight, he wasn't killed. He just left.
No, he wasn't killed.
It beat Ogun now. He won that fight.
Yes. So and he just left.
Yeah, and Ogun got casted down to earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like,
but also, that fight, wasn't he meant to get the powers? Maybe I'm making this up. Was he not meant to take over Ogun?
He becomes the god of war.
God of war. Yeah.
But he didn't. Did he?
He did. Ogun is not the god of war. Okay, he's just the god trying to get his powers back.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And you guys might be the wrong people here. This might be an issue with the program. In the myths, I don't remember, because Obatala was saying that he's gonna, that Oromila will not be remembered. He will be taken over. Is that happened? Is that what happened, or is he talking about the fact that when you talk about Yoruba people will always talk about Obatala more than they will talk about Oromila? Is that what it means, or
no? They operate on different spheres of influence. Yoruba myth does not have this idea of. I'm not 100% sure. But the little I know, there is no this idea of Obatala supplanting Oromila.
Right, yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. Like they operated on different. This is purely.
This is all new. This is nothing. Okay, all right, okay, fine, okay. I was trying to think maybe it's a version of something.
Yeah.
An interpretation of the myth heard in a different way. That's what I was thinking. That, or maybe it's something I'm not aware of, or so. Yeah, I might have just been reading too much into. Obatala's pronunciations. Yeah. So I would agree. For me, out of all the three books, this is the one I thought was the weakest, and yet it's the most straightforward one.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Like as a read through for all three of them, it tells a straightforward story.
Yeah.
Obatala's plotting his revenge, but versus the gods. But for Akogun, he comes back home. He realizes his family has been killed by the raiders. He goes on a John Wick revenge quest. He kills everybody that is involved up until the god that sent them initially to collect idols. Yeah, that's basically the story. We have all this flashback and everything that is going on. But like
the people that killed his family, were they not sent by Ogun? Because Ogun feeds.
Yeah.
was
there was.
feeding on them to get back its
Yeah,
power.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah,
and
no, that's the
Anaya pierced him
straightforward
with the
story.
arrow. Anaya was the
So,
person that pierced him with the arrows the first time. There were
yes,
Yes.
three
yes,
arrows.
yeah.
Yes. So
So
it's a, yeah.
no, go ahead, go ahead. I'm just thinking out loud.
No, okay, because yeah, I'm doing the same thing as well. Like because like for me, at the end of the day, I think what's missing from this story is my emotional involvement in what is happening.
Okay.
And maybe that's just me. Because like yes, I care for they're able to communicate these God punches earlier on in issue 1 and 2. Like you could see all of that, but here is just the action bit.
Yeah.
And he kills Ogun, but I don't know if he has won or if Obatala has taken over or what exactly is going on. Now I can go in my head and understand, okay, you know what, the future plans that are being laid forward is going to become the brutalizer of gods. As of killing Ogun, the rest of the gods will come and attack him, and we are getting a Kratos storyline going forward. Akogun is going to have a lot of agency, and Aya will be there as well, will play a part.
But
But
that would be the gods going against Obatala, right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Every single
yeah.
at some point you will see, even when they were showing Akogun, they will change and you'll see Obatala speaking, or Obatala face when he was talking to his mom and things like
yeah.
that. So is Obatala spawn, or is just his agent? I don't know
Who?
what. Akogun
He's
now,
a,
like,
No,
yeah,
I would say I would call him Spawn. I would call
because
him a Spawn.
it's spawn, right? Because he can't die at this point.
Yeah. So yes,
Unless Obatala,
I would say his genetic material
yeah.
has been altered by Batala in some way, if not blatantly put his sperm in this,
Hmm.
you know, and hence why. Also, it might also explain a lot of the affinity he has. Say it's weird. Akogun in 1 and 2 was killing a lot of the other monsters, i.e., other Batala's children.
Hmm.
But like that rhino that he now made
His ride.
is right. Is that one of Batala's creatures or not?
we don't know. We assume as much.
The one because
No,
he had the golden horn, unlike everybody
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
if Obatala is Zeus, maybe that rhino is Pegasus.
Well, because I was thinking, because also I think in an earlier issue,
Hmm.
a deer or something also came to help him, and I think
Yeah,
that was
Yeah,
directly
that
from
was the
Batala.
first time he was fierce with the arrows. There was a deer
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
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 Okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's where we are in Akogun and the Brutalizer of God. Do you
Okay.
want to read this particular issue?
Yes, I want to. Um, so I think I've been giving 4 for the first two. This one, I think I'm going to give a 2.8 for this one.
Hmm, interesting. Okay, I will go next. I'll give this issue uh 3.4. Not exactly
Okay.
3.5 because the artwork is still brilliant as
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
yeah, it's still very brilliant. The scenes are well drawn and everything. It concludes the storyline, even though I'm left with way more questions than I really wished I was left with at the end of this particular 3 issue arc. But yeah, 3.4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
I,
we're
I,
also red. Yeah.
Tunde stole my thunder, because I would still give it a 3, mainly
Okay.
now because of the art and the ink. They're still top notch. The story, again, we've said it all. I think they've suffered from their own high standards, because the 1 and 2 were really good, and you
Yeah. Yeah.
expected
Yeah.
something more
Yeah.
complex. You expect something more complex going forward. So for it to just be a straight run through like that,
Yeah. I think that was
would have
my
been
biggest
really-
takeaway. That, oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, it's ended. So I actually thought, oh, that it's ended. I really because as you said, I wasn't counting the pages. So in my mind, I was about halfway through.
Well, let's tag them and ask them. We hope it's not over, right? It looks like
It
there's
Yeah,
can't.
something coming.
It can't be.
It shouldn't be.
It can't be. It can't be.
yeah. This reads more like a prologue than
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything else.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
want more. I want more of
Mm,
the god realm.
yeah.
We saw is it Oshun we saw Oshun, we saw Shango, we've seen Orumila, we saw
Obatala.
Batala, but
Yeah.
Battle of the
there's
Hands, yeah.
other ones I want to see You know,
Okay.
where's issue?
Loki. We'll see.
Yeah.
We bring issue in to come and scatter everything. Yeah.
Where's Yemoja? Who are the other ones? The popular ones.
I mean, they can.
Sopono.
Ashakwana, yes. Yeah, Ashakwana. I always used to be scared of that one. Back when you're young and people are swearing.
Sorry,
You swear
Yeah.
Ogo, you swear. It's the
But
Shakwana one I used to fear.
Sopono.
It's Shakwana one I used to fear.
Yeah.
maybe Yema just saved Obatala the first time he landed on Earth because he said he was drowning, then he didn't drown or he survived drowning in the water world. Maybe
Yeah, possibly.
they can retcon Yemoja into that story.
Yeah, I always get confused about what each reign over because Oshun and Olemoja to me always seems to be like crossover.
No,
But they're
I
not.
think they're separate rivers.
Yeah, but I think right. I think Yemoja is the river one, right? And Oshun is the ocean one. Or am I getting the other way around?
No, Olokun is the ocean.
Oh, Olokun is the sea. Yes.
The deep sea. Olokun is the
Yeah.
deep sea.
Yeah. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I think Oshun and Yemoja, they are probably different rivers.
Oh, so they're both river gods, but just oh, okay. I don't know why I felt
Yeah.
they were on different levels. See,
I'll probably put Yemoja above.
So
Yeah.
the thing
Before I get too much, yeah.
So Yemoja is
oh,
creation,
okay.
goddess of
I've seen-
creation of water, the moon, and motherhood and protection.
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. I just did that. So what is so Oshun is then what? Yeah, so I think she's below Imajao.
Yeah.
She's also like
Yemoja is probably like Iyali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So water, purity, fertility, love, and sensuality.
Yeah.
Those Wikipedia entries. It feels
Yeah.
I mean, they're rough guides. You have to go do.
There are better sites that go a lot more deeper. Yeah.
Okay. So there we have it. Akogun Brutalizer of God is definitely a recommend from all of us on the podcast. Go
100%.
check it out.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
No
Read
question. Yeah.
It stands up there with some of the better books you've read this year. So yeah. Okay. Anything else?
We're not talking about D23, are we?
No.
Yeah, it happened.
There was nothing, but there was nothing new, right? Apart from leaks.
No,
which
not
we're not really
yeah,
interested in.
yeah. So yeah, there were leaks, but we decided as a group not to bother with watching the leaks. We will wait for them to be officially released. I got for a trailer. Nothing much new in that. I still. When is that? September, right? Next month.
Yes,
Next month. I'm staying away from trailers for now. So.
Okay.
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 So we'll see who have the last laugh there. Either that or Kex. We have a bet going on.
I'm on a roll.
Okay. We shall see.
Right. So I guess it's time for us to say our goodbyes.
Yeah. Okay, guys. See you next week. And yeah. Kex.
Right. The American, please. Representing for the Stars and Stripes. Good night.
Oh, goodness me. And Dapo.
I'm going to ignore it for now. Yeah. Thanks for listening once again, guys, and we will see you later.